podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and T40Radio.com. Original.
Yoinks! And away!
Basic.
Yoinks! And away!
First edition.
Yoinks! And away!
And then...
I says, Pigpen, this here's a rubber duck, and I'm about to put the hammer down.
Welcome to Thacoshammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever. I don't like the idea of technology or some people evolving to a certain point and stopping.
Right.
But that's me, and, you know, I'm sure I can solve it somehow. Hi, folks. It's DM Glen here. It's Thacoshammer again. And we are up to number what?
43.
43. Oh, my gosh.
And now we've equaled my age.
Okay. Are we counting? No.
No, we're not counting at all. No.
That's DM Brian. Say hi, DM Brian.
Hey, folks, what's going on? How's your gaming going?
And how about you, Full-On? It's DM Full-On Gamer over there.
Greetings, Gamer Nation. It's on.
I guess it is. So
It's on and cracking.
Yeah, it's on, so let's get on with Hits and Crits.
What are you doing tonight? I don't know. What are you doing tonight? The burlesque Louie's Paradise. Miserable and lonely and stupid. What am I, crazy or something? I got something good here. What am I hanging around with you guys for?
Hits and Crits. Hits and Crits. Okay, it's been a while, guys. What y'all been up to? Full on? What you been up to? Moving.
Packing. Moving. Yeah, getting ready to move. I had great success doing Blood Mountain at Petrie's Family Games locally here. That went awesome. I got pictures up.
Cool.
Go find them on Facebook. Petrie's Family Games in Colorado Springs.
Are you going to put any on OSR Gaming?
I can throw them up.
Cool. I'm sure there's a lot of guys who'd like to see what's going on with that. Mm-hmm. Maybe people who go to North Texas, so it's like, this is what you're in for.
Good luck to you. You're going to need it.
Well, then there's pictures I can't show you then.
Oh. Right. Never mind. Never mind.
Right?
just like Emily Latella said back in the 70s, never mind.
Never mind.
You're not special.
That's the church lady.
What's up with you, Brian?
Oh, let's see. Just been messing around with the core rules, trying to get certain classes to work correctly. I got them to work enough to where once you save your character, you can actually make it an RTF file, and then you can do your editing manually.
Nice.
So, stuff like, the specialty priest.
You could have asked me about that. I could let you know that early.
Oh.
I've been playing with Core Rules 2.0 for a while. That's why I've got all little tweaks and kits and things that you can make useful and things that, okay, it's a nice bell and whistle, but it's not enough, and this one you can do a little bit more with. Yeah.
Well, let's talk after the show then. Just send me stuff. I need stuff.
Uh-oh. Folks, send it to brianstuff@gmail.
No.
Brian needs to. Yeah, we're doing a benefit for Brian. Brian needs stuff.
Brian always needs stuff. No, Brian needs money more than he needs stuff. But
all right,
aside from that,
we'll have a telethon at BrianNeedsMoney.com.
Yeah.
I'll do
a Kickstarter.
Yeah. Kickstarter for what? For paying my rent.
You have no idea how tough that is. But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, aside from that, just been writing out more characters. I'm actually happy with the way characters are coming out after I spent another 20 minutes editing it. Aside from that, just doing little notes and a couple other things to get the AP podcast, to make that go once we, get our schedules together to where we can do another episode of it.
Oh, that's turning into mythical.
No, it's not going to be mythical. I'm not just going to let it die like some other people have.
I haven't. I'm still working on editing those first two, and let me tell you, it's a challenge.
Yeah, I can see how it is.
I mean, you folks probably, call me on this, but I just don't see any. You guys really want to hear us rolling up characters?
Glenn, let me tell you, I have at least 6 or 7 people who have asked me personally when it's coming out.
Well, I know, but I mean, rolling up characters?
Yeah. There are just some people who just like that stuff.
Okay, because
I'm okay with it.
I'm having trouble figuring out what to edit. I leave it all the
Then you know what we do? Let's just release it and release it raw.
Release it in the wild. It's free. It's free.
Yeah, just let it. Yeah, born free. Anyway, just let it out and let people listen and just let them figure out, what they like and what they don't. They're not shy about giving us feedback. That's for sure.
You mean I don't have to listen to see if we cuss?
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? We don't cuss a lot.
I'm sorry. Corey isn't in those two, so it's okay.
Yeah. And stupid me, I didn't record the session I had with him, unfortunately.
Oh, that's okay. They know he's going to be in there, this crazy little martial artist he's playing.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Glenn. All you have to do is put on the disclaimer in the front.
This is true. I don't think it's enough language to where we'd have to have an explicit rating on iTunes. I mean,
yeah, that'll keep everybody happy. And when I say everybody, I mean Vince. Anyway,
exactly.
So that's what you've been doing. Cool.
Yeah.
What have I been doing? Trying to gear up for the con. Looking at some older stuff. Looking at my Gangbusters set, and thinking, "Wow, I could do something at the con with that too." Mm-hmm. I've never played it. I've owned it. I've never played it. Mm-hmm. I could not. In the day, I could not get any interest by anybody to play it. Mm-hmm. So. Might be worthwhile. Plus the basic one I want to run. As far as going to buy stuff, just a few little, this and that things.
Yeah, little thing here, little thing there.
At half price, yeah, not much.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've already got your score for the year, so you should.
Not much. Just a couple of little books,
Couple little books. Ladies and gentlemen, this man scored the ultimate score. He went to buy Champions of Mystara box set, and it turned out to have almost all of the basic D&D Gazetteers in them.
Yes!
Yeah, he basically has what?
So looked out of a book of what?
Yeah, he spent $10 on about $400 worth of gaming stuff.
Which was mostly intact.
Yeah.
No maps, but mostly intact, even though I found out 5 Shires is missing a book, but that's okay.
That's okay. You can't complain.
Yes.
Not with everything else you got.
I've already bagged them all, and I also turned up B10 for $4.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, yeah, without the whole punches though.
Yeah, no, that's the thing that didn't have. See, just little tiny things like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we just finished Quest for the Silver Sword almost last night.
Mm-hmm.
My grandson and his other friend, the elf, the elf and the cleric.
Right.
I was running a couple of NPCs with them because they were a little light on manpower.
Uh-huh.
Had their first run-in with the gelatinous cube.
That's always fun.
They fought some zombies and a ghoul, and lings and a were-rat, which they triumphed over. And I was putting Gage to bed, and I said, Gage, I never realized that. You're a priest. How come you didn't turn those zombies and ghoul? He says, I didn't want to. Why? I wanted to fight them. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a future believer in the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, God. Zombies are good for, fodder. That's about it. Anyway, I'm sure a lot of people would agree.
Glenn, I have a suggestion to make. Show him George Romero's Night of the Living Dead.
I gotta watch that one of these days.
What?
The remake is not bad.
No,
the original black and white is good.
Yeah, I was thinking the original.
Both of those are quite good. And then if you want to start having fun with them, Return of the Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead Part 2, Return of the Living Dead Part 3, Land of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then your assortment of Resident Evil movies.
Evil Dead 2. Yeah.
See, I don't really care.
He fills up for it going for The Walking Dead on AMC. And then we'll see if you still wants to be within 10-foot pole touching distance of zombies in mass.
Oh,
No touchy. Boom, turn, go away.
He's put in several hours watching his dad play Call of Duty, zombie.
With the zombie mission, yes.
Zombie mission. They played that for hours, and he's right there watching them, so I don't think that's going to affect him.
Yeah, you might just, yeah.
If I just never see another zombie thing in my life, I'd be happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's not happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
The closest I want to come is Army of Darkness, so,
Army of Darkness was funny.
Anyway, we've got any emails?
Yes, we have emails. Okay, All right. This one, even though it's a really simple question, the answer might not be so simple. So if you give me a moment, sure. I'm going to mute my mic while I get into position, and then I'll play it.
It's a voicemail?
Yes.
Oh.
It's a very short one, but the question may not be quite so simple.
Hello, Thacoshammer. My name's Adam, and I'm calling tell you guys that I really enjoy listening to your show, or keep up the good work. I just had one question for you. Why second edition? Over all the editions out there, why do you guys choose second edition? I think that'd be interesting to know. So thanks a lot. Keep up the good work. Bye.
2-word answer. Why not?
Because I still play it.
Yeah. Well,
I play basic, I play first, I play second, I play third, I play 3.5, I play Pathfinder. You'd notice a omission there.
Well, yeah, Pathfinder's about where you stop.
Yep.
But, I mean...
Look, Vince wanted to give me a show. There was nothing else except 2. No, that's not really.
Well, that's true, but that's not the reason.
That's not the real
reason.
It's
a good, solid system. By the time they came out with the player's option, you basically had all of the shell work and the groundwork done that would eventually become 3rd edition anyway, and you could play any game you wanted. Any style, any level of complexity, more or less. Mm-hmm. Pretty much it's all there. Yeah, other editions have come out with different tricks and tweaks and stuff like the feats and talents. That applies to a certain style of play. That's fine. But you can still get a good, robust, solid play out of 2nd edition. Whether you play with or without the player's option stuff, it's still one of the longest running, biggest population of materials out there, game systems, that you can get your teeth cut on and still kick back and revel and enjoy. You want the artsy-fartsy new weird modules? They have those. You want the classic dungeon crawls? This is where they came from. Mm-hmm. And anything you can do in 2nd edition, you can use 1st edition or basic stuff for with minimal conversion, so you've doubled and tripled your assets available to play the game with.
What, Glenn?
How about no conversion?
Yeah, essentially, there's no conversion needed to take 1E or basic stuff and plop it into your 2E game.
Yeah, you want to use a monster that isn't in there, and it's in 1st edition or earlier, go right ahead. As I say, just take it, put a THACO on it, slap it on its ass, and put it in the game.
Yep, that's all you have to do. I mean, with me, it was like I was curious about 3rd edition up until I saw how much the books were going to cost. Now, at the time, I will say I was flat broke. I was basically making enough money to survive, and that was about it. And my personal feeling is that there was really no need for a 3rd edition aside from the fact that Wizards of the Coast bought TSR and they had to make a change to make a splash. And once they did that, I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm reading the books. I'm like, yeah, this is a halfway decent game. I played a couple of 3E games, but 2nd edition is where my bread is buttered.
Well, you know what? I got rid of all my 3.5s.
Mm-hmm.
You fool!
Except if I want to play 3.5,
mm-hmm.
I don't know. Well, I kind of know why, but I was going to say I don't know why they didn't come out with this one. The player's handbooks instead, when the core books had been out for a while. Mongoose Publishing.
Oh yeah, Mongoose.
The Pocket Player's Handbook and the Pocket DM's Guide.
Mm-hmm.
Because you like Pocket everything.
Yeah, A5 is the shiznit. It really is.
But again,
I love 8.5.
And the other big thing about it is that, unlike modern era gaming, where it is turning over almost to the point where it's turning over like your cell phones turn over.
Yeah.
Buy the new edition next month. Okay. They actually invested some time and effort into setting, into story, into supplements, into adventures.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times people don't have the time to do the writing on their own, so they need the adventures. Core books are not the end-all, be-all of your sales line. Game companies,
you know,
out some product.
Wait, I know 2E started that with the splat books and the options and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and technically it started with 1E, but let's continue.
Okay. But I was just reading the original D&D discussion group, and friend Laven did a history of D&D as he saw it. And when he got to 4th edition, he said, once 4th edition came, and the just sheer amount of stuff that came out makes 2E look like basic.
Avalanche.
The amount of stuff. Yeah. And Avalanche, he says, you know, even, he said, then they came out with the essentials. Even the essentials, if you're going to pick out like the 5 core books, not 3, 5 core books in the essentials line, which is supposed to be a simplification, easier to do of quicker D&D, 4th edition.
Yeah.
That's still 1,600 pages.
It's a lot of information.
The RC did it with 250. 2nd edition did it with 3 books.
Yeah.
Holmes did it with 64 pages.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I believe in options, but my God. Now, take 2E. You think, oh, that's the same problem. No, it's not really. I mean, you can extend this to 4th too. But what I'm saying is this is the first time they decided to make D&D modular.
Yeah, that was
modular. And if you think about the word modular, it means you plug modules into it, but it also means you take modules out of it.
Absolutely.
And like the other editions, you pick what you want to play with. You pick your level of play.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go strictly core, you go strictly core. You want to add a few splat books, add a few splat books.
Yep.
You know,
which is one of the things that got my
I'm going to go all players option, and I'm going to dual kit everybody.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that was the one thing when I first started coming onto RPG message boards, how everybody was like, so stuck in their ways about whatever edition they were playing. And it's like, look, let's understand something. 2E is basically 2E sprang from 1E and just made things interchangeable. 1E sprang from more or less from the original, and some of Basic, and Basic was something that came from the original Brown books that was simplified almost to a fault. And my whole thing is that with 2nd edition, I get the best of both worlds. I can just add stuff in, take stuff out with a minimum of fuss.
And you know what go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, when it came to 3E, by this time I had pretty much was set in my campaign world, which was Mystara, and I'd done all the conversions for, pretty much everything involved in it. And I'm like, I have to do all of that crap again. No. Aside from the monetary investment I needed, then there was the investment in time, which is more expensive, let's say.
Now, let me say this. It's funny, glad you brought up 3.5, because when I was doing 2E, 1E, basic, whatever, I had pretty much a system where it was like quick and dirty,
Yep.
Monsters, write a few stats, line of stats, go.
Yep.
And I remember complaining about this in the show before, but once I got into 3.5, I'm going, this is so much harder. Why? It's the same stats. It's the same. I mean, yeah, they add feats and all this other all this prestige class and all that stuff. But it's like I can just like 2E, optional.
Yep.
But why is it so much harder just to run a battle? And Finlavin hit it on the nail. nailed right there on the head, the nail on the head. He said, in 3.3.5, they decided to give the monsters and the NPCs the same set of abilities as the player characters, and that's the problem right there. Because all of a sudden, you have to worry about a monster's skills, a monster if they have a prestige class. If you do,
you only worry about that if you choose to add it, which is just the same as if you decided to make that troll a fighter in your 2E game.
I had to figure what got me is I had to sit there and figure out saving throws for every single frickin' monster that came across. When the other book would say, "Oh, it saves as a 5th level fighter."
Yeah. That was the thing. 3 and 3.5 made it complicated. I think what they tried to do is make it as close to an even playing field as possible. Right. The problem is that slows things down quite a bit.
This is where balance starts getting to be a dirty word.
Yeah, and when people, in their snarky little way on message boards, because God only knows it's the internet, and everybody can be a genius, everybody can be a smartass, everybody can just, pick fights and start trouble and stir the pudding, so to speak. And when people start saying that about 2E, that balance became a dirty word, it's like, look, 2E is not. It's something that the DM has to be a little bit more aware of, but not that much more than first edition.
And you know what? For the most part, people were balancing their games anyway previously.
With house rules, yes.
House rules, just eyeballing it. You got to be a good enough DM where you could eyeball, okay, they're this strong, I got monsters that are this strong. Like I say, you're just trying to give them a good fight.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you know what? It was balance. You were doing balance. You just weren't thinking about it.
Yeah,
you just weren't thinking about it.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But but getting back to his question,
did we get off point?
Yes, we did. We all went off on rants.
Okay.
Yeah, there's the Thacoshammer first.
What?
Does that answer your question, Adam?
Yeah.
Yes, it did. Thank you. Oh, sorry.
We can easily do another 15 minutes, but I think we've answered this question. But thank you for sending the messages. Thank you for sending the voicemail, Adam, and keep right on listening. We'll keep cranking them out, and if you have more questions, just you know where to get a hold of us.
Yeah. Thacoshammer@gmail.com if you want to press our button some more. And
God only knows. God only knows. There are some people who love to do it.
What's the number?
That's 405-806-0555.
Okay, we got any red emails?
Yes, I have one right here.
All right, go for it.
Okay, this one is from Ian Clark. He says, "Hey guys, I really enjoy the show and had a quick question for you. I'm about to kick off an ongoing campaign with 5 players. They're starting at first level, and I'm placing them in Shadowdale in the Forgotten Realms. I have several ideas, including the Twisted Tower from the Shadowdale book. I've actually read that. It's pretty good.
I played that. Nice.
What's
played that? Nice.
Yeah. But I want it to be open-ended so they can go where they want to. In regard to that, I would like to have lots of options, rumors for them. Do you guys have any suggestions, maybe from Dungeon Magazine or modules for generic first-level adventures that can be dropped into Shadowdale?
Have some drug tell them about this hut with chicken legs in the forest.
That's not nice.
Tell them there's a bounty if they go pull this guy in the gray robes, if they pull his hat off.
Yeah, your bounty is you get resurrected.
No, seriously. The Forgotten Realms is wide open. Shadowdale is your basic is one of your basic kickoff points where you can kind of just the map is there. Point them in a direction, pull the ripcord, and let them go.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to find out where they can go. If they decide they're going to wander into the middle of Cormanthor, okay, they wander off into the woods and find their way into Cormanthor, okay? If they go north, they can get into some good wild orc lands or over into the deserts at Anarok. They can keep going west and head out across the Vast and Vasa. They can get some Horde land type stuff. They can go southeast into the Sea of Fallen Stars, do some pirate stuff. They don't even need to go to the ocean. You've got pirate stuff right at the Sea of Fallen Stars.
Yep, that's
You've
true.
got all kinds of stuff in every direction, every environment you want. Mountains, desert, woods, underground, underdark, plains, orcs, whatever. Pull the ripcord, let them go. Just be aware that, it's not like they're going to wander in the middle of the troll moors like you might from Waterdeep, but they would definitely have to pay attention to where they're going, what they're doing, and if you lay some rumors out there, lay some threats out there too, so that they know, hey, we should come back this way when we're higher level.
Mm-hmm. But,
and as far as I'm concerned, send them east to one of my favorite places, the Living City, Ravens Bluff.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I've been reading the supplement for the last week. And I love it. I think that's some of Greenwood's best work aside.
Now, wait a minute. Is this like the Inside the Living City, Port of Ravens Bluff, blah blah blah?
No, it's the first of this Ravens Bluff series, the actual city where he lays it out, where he lays the whole.
Like the area books, like Waterdeep in the North.
No. This basically was sprung from the RPGA stuff they did with Ravens Bluff. But no, this is the first book in the series where it's the actual city, all the major players, all of the guilds, as many NPCs as you could ever want. And then on top of that, if that wasn't enough, then he actually I love the way he did this. He goes through each neighborhood of Ravens Bluff, as if somebody's walking along a guided tour.
Kind of like a Volo's guide.
Yeah, exactly. Except there's just a lot more of it. And, he's gone from like the poorest neighborhoods all the way up to the richest ones with all kinds of NPCs and rumors and, just adventure ideas and hooks. There are so many. There's just so many. It's just amazing to me. And not only that, I love the way I always like the way he writes his supplements anyway. As far as him being an actual author, not so much, but I love how he's written these things out.
Ravens Bluff's a great place to start him.
Yeah, I agree 100%. You could run characters from first level all the way to 20th. Just in Ravens Bluff,
you can do that anywhere in the realms.
Easily, yeah.
Shadowdale's the equivalent of Nebraska.
Keeps getting invaded, just wait for it. You'll have a war.
Yeah.
You can go against this religious onslaught, you can go against the Drow onslaught, you can go against the what's the big mafia? I've already brain locked.
Zental Keep?
The Zentalar and their whole, mafia approach to handling business and politics. Their influence is everywhere. The Harpers are everywhere. You've got so many ways to. Hey, my Night Below approach to things is that the Harpers treat things like the IMF.
As in.
Yes, impossible missions for dun 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 dun. This scroll will your mission your mission, Mr. Phelps, if you choose to accept it. This scroll will self-immolate in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That whole 9 yards. Just drop things on them, see if it's going to go. As far as rumors go, build some rumors around the adventures you want to run.
Yep.
Make say 60% of them true, but only partial information, so I have to get several to put it together. Right. Make about 30 of them twisted truth, kind of half-truths. Make a good 10% of them flat-out lies.
Yep.
That could be true. And a couple obscure red herrings in there. And then just sit back and enjoy the fun if you want to do rumor tables. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But, as far as actual adventures go, I'll handle that section of it. The first one I think of is Haunting Halls of Evening Star, which is in that area, correct, Falon? That is in that region? Yeah.
I believe so.
And half the dungeon magazines have at least one Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, one Forgotten Realms adventure in there.
And you got all the Dales. It's not just Shadowdale. You got Battledale. You got Deepingdale. You got
Scardale.
all of the different Dales. Scardale. You could go into all of the different ones just for adventure chains per Dale. Then you have
And
outside
you're not
the
too
Dale.
far from the ruins of Mistranor.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Oh, but you know what?
If
I'd
you
have
really
them
want to scare the bejesus out of them,
No, if you want to kill your party.
If you want a really fun thing, go ahead and just take the Gazetteer for the Great Grey Land of Thar and throw it in Thar in the Forgotten Realms, and you still have all of it the same.
The Orcs of Thar?
Yes.
Ooh.
Well, you know what? No,
There's
actually,
a Thar in Forgotten Realms right north of the Moonsea.
yeah. I mean, another thing that you could use, that you can run your characters from 1st to like 8th level, Ruins of Adventure. Ruins of Adventure. That's their conversion of Pool of Radiance.
Yeah, all the Pools of Radiance, Baldur's Gate Adventures.
Yep.
They're based there. Use it. Go crazy.
Yep. I mean, that's the thing.
Let's go to Plan.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I've seen at least 2 copies at half price of the Forgotten Realms version of the Book of Lairs too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you could throw those in pretty much anywhere with a minimum of fuss. The only thing, and I know this is going to sound sacrilegious for me to say it, but the only drawback that I've ever had about Forgotten Realms is that there's almost too much. It's almost too much going on in that campaign world that you've got almost too many ideas. It's hard to pick one. I think that might be
just
where...
Self-control. Don't put everything in. Here's a hint. Everybody complains about all the mega NPCs in the realms. They don't have to meet any one of them ever.
No, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. Even though I like to throw them in. I mean, I've already got most of the major ones written up aside from Elminster, because, it's one of those things where a character party's going to have a certain level of reputation to gain Elminster's notice because he's been around for so damn long.
That or a hot chick.
Yeah, well, yeah, then there's that. Yeah, it doesn't help. If one of your PCs has female PCs has a coming as a 20, he'd probably be all over it.
I got the old man label. We'll be fine.
Yeah, crack of dawn ain't safe around Elminster, to paraphrase Julie. But the whole thing is that with the Forgotten Realms, I mean, each region has all you need is just to go through the material you've got. I mean, you already have a good starting point with the Twisted Tower. That's an excellent starting point. Mm-hmm. You could throw in even the classic D&D adventures with a minimum of fuss. In the Shadowdale region, or even the Dales themselves.
I put X3 Curse of Xanathon on the east coast of the Vilhan Reach.
Yep. Yeah, it's easy.
Right up
easy
there
to
short
do.
of the Bloodstone Pass, and I made the Dwarves of Rockholm, the Dwarves of Bloodstone, lift, carry, shift, done.
Yep, exactly. And
I'm staring at my first edition book here of Lords of Darkness.
Yep.
Boy, you can get a lot of mileage out of that no matter what level.
There's another one. And if your characters want to go up against undead, that's
the book to have.
Yeah, that's a supplement where you can go from just skeletons all the way up to a lich.
There's a reason that the graveyards in the major cities of Waterdeep are all kind of fortressy, because they're really trying to keep things in.
Yeah, keep things in rather than keep things out.
It was written by an all-star cast, too, including Mr. Greenwood.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we reviewed it in a previous episode. But, yeah, I mean, there are so many things in the realms, just without even looking at published adventures. All it takes is just say, okay, this, and this, that, and that, and in case they decide to, abandon this, then that.
And if you don't want to buy any, I mean, if you have access to them, we already talked about dungeon magazines, go to purpleworm.org, use their index.
Yep.
You can sort it by Forgotten Realms.
Yep.
You come up with a metric ton of stuff.
And there's so many fan-created, good quality Forgotten Realms material out there.
And then there's that.
Go out and find something that you want to beg, borrow, steal, mutate, adjust, and use to your own heart's content for your personal campaign.
Yep.
That's why it's a fan groups of folks out there mutually supporting each other with no longer supported product lines and subject areas.
As a matter of fact, I think like 12,
novels.
13.
I've got all of them. Read some.
I've got most of them myself. But I downloaded it from somewhere, I want to say like 12, 13 years ago. There was one person who decided just to write down all of the rumors that he's read in most of the Forgotten Realms supplements up to that time, which was like 1998 or 99, somewhere in there. And it's a PDF file, not PDF file, it's a text file that's probably about 300K. Just rumors, not even adventures or anything like that. It's all rumors that a DM can just take something and just run with that one particular thing.
And that's not even sorted chronologically by your big major divisions like the Time of Troubles or by the big Red Wizard incursion or, the Spell War, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, easily. But yeah, I mean, I would say, like I said, my suggestions for published modules would be Haunted Halls of Evening Star, and just keeping the lower level theme to it. The Sword of the Dales trilogy. That's a classic one. Published stuff, Haunted Halls of Evening Star, Sword of the Dales trilogy. There are tons of... See, that's the best part about Forgotten Realms. Everybody thinks it's this high-level, high magic. Well, it is high magic. But, this campaign where everybody has to come in at, like, 7th level just to survive. Au contraire, mon frère. You can start from level 1. There are tons of options out there. Just do a little searching, tailor it to your PC party and go. Forgotten Realms is a treasure trove.
That's right.
You don't have to have a Red Wizard, a Zentalar, and a Harper walk into the bar every 5 minutes.
That sounds like a really bad joke.
And then there's also all of the really good published material that was non-genre specific intentionally for the purpose of putting in your campaign to suit you. Like, say, perhaps, maybe appearing later, Night Below.
Yeah,
Takes you from level 1 to a level 20 plus campaign, all in one box, anywhere you want to put it in any world.
Yep.
And it fits like a glove into the Forgotten Realms and any piece of the map that's not being occupied.
Yep.
The minute they come out of Undermountain, they'll walk right outside time, fall in a hole, and they're in Night Below.
We're underground again. Yeah. Come on, we're all pale and pasty. We need some sun, man. Something like that.
Sun, did you say?
Yeah.
I know it's the dark one.
Oh, man.
So pretty much that's what you do with the Forgotten Realms. You
play with it.
Yeah.
You play with it. Start with something like Lords of Darkness or one of the region books.
Saga or something like that.
Yeah.
The Dungeon Magazine or the Dragon Magazine.
I got the Cormier book.
Yep.
And that comes with they could spend a whole campaign just in Cormier.
Why would you?
Well,
that's just my personal dislike coming through because I hate a region where they charge you just to be an adventurer. Where you have to have a charter to adventure in the kingdom.
Taxes.
Screw that. Azun, you're a prick. Anyway.
But anyway, I hope we answered your question.
Says you have to pay.
Yeah, but more wizards start coming down on you. Sure.
Well,
as long as you're being useful, they might even ignore you and advocate your function.
That's true.
Be useful.
That's true.
Now,
okay.
Do we have any more email? Oh, thank you. Who was that?
That was Ian Clark.
Thank you, Ian.
Co-host of the Nerd Herders Geek Culture podcast. So we got another fellow podcast.
Is that D20 Radio?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Well, wherever you are, people go listen to the Nerd Herders.
Yes. I'll certainly check them out after we're done here.
Yes. Anyway, you got any more emails?
Okay. Got one more from our friend Travis Harmbringer Nicholson.
Hi, Travis.
Okay, he says, "Hey all, how roll the dice?" Huh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I don't want to know last time. Go ahead.
Yeah, no natural 20s this way either.
TPK, does that ring a bell?
Yeah, that's bad. He says, I have a question for you all. I recently had a game set for the night and forgot all my stuff. I was real busy in the blacksmith shop. This guy's a blacksmith, really?
Sure, why not?
Oh, man, wow. I said, so I grabbed
Cars throw tires all the time. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nice one, Glenn. So I grabbed my phone and just used my head and what references I could find. So I just got an idea that since there's such great tech in these phones, have you all checked out the app stores to find out apps in case crap happens?
Yes.
And you have an app backup. He said, I just found an app called Old School Rules Tables in the Android market. It has the Acrobat Thief Tales. OMG. He said, okay, that's my little girl moment is done. What do you all think? Keep the dice on the table.
I have on my phone a dice roller, a second edition AD&D character generator, and all of the wizard and priest spells from second edition.
That's pretty.
I am not a stranger to that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, most phones have enough memory capacity where you can even, upload PDFs into your phone, and have a reader.
You can't read them, but yeah, you can.
There are readers. There are PDF readers.
Oh, there are readers. You just can't read them.
Well, if
you can't read them, old man eyes. We can.
Ouch! I was not going to say that, but it's out there now.
There's a Kindle app for crying out loud,
Right, and you can have a Kindle loaded up with PDFs. If you've legally gotten them, let's put that out there. PDFs of all the second edition or all your old school rule books. That way, if you do forget. If you do have a major brain fart, because if you're going to go game, how you forget your books. If you have a major brain fart, then you have your backup right there, and it's right on your Kindle. And more often than not, it's searchable, like iPad, Kindle, whatever. The forms will be searchable. So if you're looking for, let's say cleric's turning tables, you just enter that in, and then it will come up with the proper things for it.
But my solution, of course, is to make sure you just keep a backpack with your books and your dice on your person at all times.
Well, of course.
That's the old school way of doing it.
I did not let my dice get packed. I have my dice. I have a player's handbook. I can game anywhere, anywhen. Let's go.
Anytime.
But you're DM.
That's part of being a soldier in our armed forces full on. You have to be ready at any time. Because God only knows what might come down the pike,
Hey, wheels up in 18 hours, dice down in 20.
There you go. There it is. Enough said.
I keep thinking there's this one guy this old soldier veteran who, like, up in the attic, he's got this, like, 2E player's handbook with a big old hole in it. This saved my life. At the battle.
Considering the kind of paper they used, it probably could stop at 22.
Yeah. But the Whatties will probably stop bullets,
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, it's, but there are so many options out there on the mobile and tablet market now to where you can run a game from your tablet. I mean, God only knows the grognards get irritated enough if you just decide to bring a laptop to a game.
Well, I'm glad they came out with the tablets because it's a lot less room.
Exactly. That's the reason why if I ever had a face-to-face game, I'd probably bring my laptop because I've got everything there. Characters, rule books, dice rollers. It's all there.
But anyway, yes, we have, and they work fine.
Yes.
And that's the emails, right?
Yes, those be the emails for this week, yes.
All right. You guys want to write us, Thacoshammer@gmail.com. 405-806-0555. Shall we do the list?
Oh, okay. Let me pull up my
D20.
Oh. Go ahead.
D20radio.com. osrgaming.org, dragonsfoot.org, nutkinland.com, purpleworm.org, strollandcitadel.com.
Got it. Facebook,
the
Twitter,
blank, Facebook, Twitter,
and the Piazza.
And the Piazza.com. I just want to throw in original D&D discussion, but they're not 2E, so.
They lose.
They lose.
But you ended up throwing them in anyway.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go into It's in the Book.
You ever go to school, stupid?
Yeah, and I come out the same way.
Is that your idea of an idea?
It's in the book.
It's in the book. What do you do with all that stuff you got? How to invest your loot. And this is, I believe, an article from Dragon number 268, right?
That is correct.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, what was it called again, Pull On?
It is called Ill-Gotten Gains.
That's debatable, really, you know?
Starts on page 26. At least that's a nice, pretty cover art inside there. But it's a fun little article.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about that. And what is it, a series of tables or just advice or what?
A little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. I mean, you got to think about this. I should say you got to think about it as a player if your character has not gotten killed by this point.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a third level fighter and you got a bunch of loot and you get killed, well, you don't have to worry about that.
Hey, 401k plans for all adventuring parties include a resurrection fund.
That should be standard.
Yeah.
You guys haven't done that in my game.
Well, are we... What level are we again?
3? Third level?
Started at...
Let's see. How much treasure did we get from the Sturges?
Well,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, random encounter. None.
None. Well,
Patience, my friends, patience.
Unless you want to, go to a money lender or stick it under a mattress or...
Or just keep it written on your character sheet like I have for the last 30 years.
Yeah. But you know what they say? Well, they don't say it, but I know enough DMs to know that a character and his money will soon be parted whether they want to or not. I've had DMs screw over. I've seen DMs screw over players 7 ways to Sunday over this issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they want to keep them poor, and because if they're rich, then they're complacent in their viewpoint. I don't see with it.
Here's the thing. Mm-hmm. I'm a, say, 5th level fighter. Okay? And I have just gotten 100,000 gold pieces from a dragon horde. Okay?
But okay.
Okay, fine, whatever. Obviously, I'm not going to be carrying that around. For one, it's too heavy.
Correct.
I would have to get 2 mules to carry it. And secondly, I don't feel all that comfortable carrying that much cash around. So, what do? Okay, let's take one way of doing it. Investing it.
Yeah.
Okay, say you invest. What?
Go ahead.
You invest in, say, land.
Okay.
You buy a couple of hectares of...
Hectares.
Thank you, of land. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. And you've got a couple of peasants to work it or some kind of indentured servitude or, that kind of thing.
Yeah, whatever you come up with short of slavery, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not quite a baron. You're not quite... I mean, you're a landowner, but you're not... quite. Okay, cool. Your money's working for you. You don't have to worry about it. Go off and adventure some more. Okay, I get another 5,000 gold. Okay, I don't want to invest land this time. Let's say I put it in with a money lender. Okay, fine. There's a really nice guy named Mert. I invest it with him. He holds on to it for me. He's like a bank.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. And I go off again. And it's like, I am poor. I don't have a lot of cash with me, which to me is still motivation to go out and kick a dragon's ass.
Well, yeah, because, like we spoke about in a previous episode. The reason
high-level parties adventure is to maintain the lifestyle they're accustomed to and to pay for the infrastructure they have acquired.
Right.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make here is, okay, I go off and I raid a couple dungeons, kill some goblins, blah, 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 and I get some more money. Okay, I only got about 100 gold.
Okay.
Fine.
Walk around money.
Walk around money. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. If something happens, I really be into debt, I can always like get a hold of Mert or blah 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 blah. Well, in the meantime, the DM's doing stuff like, oh well, Mert embezzled your money and skipped town, or the farmers decided to do this and they took over your land, or the goblins ran over it. Blah 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 blah. They will do anything they can to get at that money you have safely put away.
Yeah, I agree. I've played in games like that for years, where it's one of two ways. Either it's static, to where it's just you have this money and you're drawing from it to buy passage over the sea to land X or Y or whatever, or it's the other way is as soon as you get it, you're say on your way back to civilization and your cart is loaded down with gold pieces and a group of 39th level thieves come in and steal it all.
Okay, I can understand that part. But I mean, if a character or a player character makes the effort to make sure their money is relatively safe, it's not saying that things can't happen.
Right.
But
you don't do it every time. Yeah, you work with them.
Come on, man.
Too many times there are GMs who just don't get it, that money is part of the adventure. It doesn't have to be a hang-up. It can be a plot point.
Yes.
I agree. 100%.
Especially look at other games where they have, I've got a wealth stat or I've got a wealth talent. That just means I have money that comes to me because I have wealth.
Marvel superheroes?
Marvel superheroes have a class 1000 wealth rating.
You're a billionaire at that point.
Okay. So you're Tony Stark. Live like Tony Stark. You don't rip him off on a daily basis. You just deal with what he can do. Right. Big deal.
Yeah.
Same thing with Star Wars, You've got someone who's got a noble with a high, multiple levels of noble and the wealth talent. They're going to be racking in 5, 10, 8, 20,000 credits a level.
Yep. And that's a lot of money, actually. You get up over like 20,000 credits. You can, like Luke said, you can almost buy your own ship for that. But
easily, you start buying your shipping company for that.
Yeah.
And you don't make it something that you fight with the players over. You make it something to spring adventures from.
I agree, 100%. I mean, and not just get your money back from the guy who robbed you today. Yeah, you just read my mind. I was just about to say that.
However, that is a good plot hook.
It is, but
a plot hook. But how many times did Lando get ripped off? He just found something else crazier to invest his money in.
Well, see, that was the thing. Well, yeah, that's the thing with Lando. That's part of his character where he, achieves this great success, and it only holds for maybe like a day or a week.
Well,
then he loses it.
That's the gambler's luck right there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
He has more than that. He got more stable than that. He actually started racking in some pretty stable investments. I mean, he did several mining operations. He did a droid manufacturing operation that's still racking in money, and a bunch of other odds and ends. Wars and invasions notwithstanding. But again, that same theory can apply to your D&D characters too. Right. It's not just about, I have money, I have it in a 401k, and it's investing in rollover compound interest, and I'm being a moneylender, or you've got I'm manufacturing magic items, so I need a investment. I'm doing my mage tower. I need money so that I can research weird ass spells.
But I've seen too many DMs just rip the players off just because they want to keep them poor, but they don't see the long term.
Right.
So, as a solution to that, we have this article from Dragon Magazine that gives you the long term. Let's talk about that.
I understand.
There's the neat little bow. Mm-hmm.
Why, are we getting off subject?
No, well, we were kind of getting off on rants. No, but my whole thing is that as a DM, I mean, I'm not the kind of DM, and I'm sorry, but some people say, and I'm soft, and I'm just going to tell them F you. I'm not out to screw my players over. My players do a good enough job themselves of screwing themselves over. All I have to do is just manage what happens from the moment they decide to bork things. I mean, I get your point, Glenn, that, too many DMs, because you want to know what? Because it's easy. it's easy when you are the DM. It's one of those things where if you wanted to, you can kill your players off in one session. You can rip them off and leave them with nothing but the clothes on their back, or even just leave them standing naked and shivering in the street if you wanted to.
Right.
I mean, it's one of those things that this is one of the DM's jobs is to sort of monitor how much money the party gets. I mean, if they go and kill a dragon and, they get that hoard with, like 50,000 gold pieces and another 100,000 in gems and stuff like that. I mean, now 99% of players that I've run into or played with or DM'd, they'll just sit on it. Because number one, they don't want to pay, the tax man doesn't want to, be paid a visit by him. But also, they'll sit on it because, what they want to do is, they want to build that stronghold out in the middle of, like 20 miles north of town or whatever, or things like that. I mean,
and it's done with fiendish glee by certain DMs.
Oh, yes, it is.
That's what drives me crazy about it. It's done with fiendish glee, even though you're trying to get a character who's trying to make something of themselves.
Exactly. Well, the problem is that most DMs just think that, well, you don't need money because you're a hero. And it's like, no. Adventurers have heroism sort of handed to them or thrust upon them. They're all, in the beginning, almost all of them are opportunists. They're looking for places where they can go in, kill a bunch of orcs, kill a bunch of goblins, get some money, get better equipment, go and raid this ogre lair or this kind of thing, get more money, maybe find some magical items. I mean, the problem, as far as acquiring wealth, in the case of mages, that's already taken care of because they're going to have to buy 80% of the spells they're going to get over the length of their career.
Oh, yeah.
And with clerics, they're, depending on, what deity you worship, you're going to have to tithe some or most, or in some cases, all of the wealth you garner.
Right.
Paladins are easy, but the real sticklers are going to be your fighters and your rogues. Rogues are all about the next big score. Rangers are easy. They live in the woods.
Yeah.
Ish.
They carry what whatever they can carry or their mount can carry. You're right.
For the druid, I want some extra fertilizer for my trees.
Well, did you have a big dinner?
Oh, jeez. Dude. Oh, compost heap? No, never mind. But anyway. Getting back to the task at hand, because
that's why ogres are part of the ecosystem, because they
all right.
Oh man, yeah, and Odiugs too. But anyway, okay. But yes, this little article, just gives the DM some good ideas and a little bit of a system about what players can invest in to either break even or even get a little bit more money and become something. I'm not saying they have to be, but something of a businessman.
Right.
You can invest.
It also is
Go ahead.
It's also a good stage to set up for eventually when they get high enough level that they really don't care about adventuring anymore. It's something you can fall back into and just turn into NPCs and be the retired character at.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And you have your first classic is, of course, your tavern or inn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crossroads or in town or wherever. It's just your basic idea of I'm running a hotel. I'm running a bar. Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Yeah. Yep. You could set up shop somewhere. I'm a leather worker now.
Right. Exactly. That's why, it's at least to me, it's kind of important for a character to learn a skill that can immediately translate into earning a living when, adventuring season is, when it's, winter, and there's 2 feet of snow on the ground where you're at, and it's just not feasible to go from point A to point B looking for monsters to kill.
I think actually the second item would be more like that. That'd be the trading expedition. It's not so much just trading expeditions, setting up forays to go wherever. It's your caravan routes, or it's your I want to be a person at the source of a trading route. So I'm going to be the metal worker providing goods or magic items or whatever. I'm either a source or a destination of goods and services as opposed to tavern and bar.
I agree.
Item number 2.
Yeah. You remember you were telling us about that one campaign you played in, Glenn, where you played a guy who wanted to start a trading post?
Yeah.
Yeah, this article would be perfect for that guy.
Yeah, he was out in the wilderness. He wanted to, clear his land and start a trading post near the trail.
Right, and see, that's the whole thing. And this gives you a little bit of a small system to where you can figure out how much it's going to cost for you once you have the land cleared and, say once you have the trading post built. Then you figure out, okay, how long is it going to take for a trading caravan to reach here? How long is it going to take, how much is it going to cost for, billeting animals and stuff like that, not to mention trading items, buying and selling. It gives you that system.
Buying raw materials and selling finished goods, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
Okay. Your third option would be some kind of PC organization. This is, I want to be an adventuring guild headquarters, or a thieves guild, or a fighter school, or a mage school, or I'm going to start my own church, whatever. Yeah. PC organization. Something headquarters, maintenance salary, and just taking care of the organization of that. That's where that third category falls in.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay.
And that's probably the one that the majority of PCs are going to fall under. Because, I was just thinking, in my Mystara campaign in the capital city of Karamakos is a fighter training facility.
Yeah.
And run by a 20th level fighter. And I'm just thinking, I remember at the time when I was incorporating this, I took this straight out of the 1E Book of Lairs. It was perfect. But yeah, he 20th level fighter, his 13th level wife, three seventh level fighters of differing races, I think a human, an elf, and a dwarf, and then maybe 7 or 8 understudies. And I was just thinking at the time when I was, putting this in, I'm like, how much would running something like this cost? Then, just by happenstance, here it is. There's just this little system. It's like, okay, the headquarters, rent or buy, plus 1 month base salary for each person. Then
your startup cost.
Right. And then the maintenance cost, and then, whatever income you get. And, the income you get is also randomly determined. It's not static. That's where the DM has some control, perhaps, over what happens. Because, running a training facility like that, there are going to be some days where you got fighters lined up out the door, then there will be some days where there's maybe 1 or 2 in the training yard, with your, training under a master and so forth.
Right.
Or the days when the Baron shows up and says, "Hey, you've all been conscripted since you have a facility. You've now become basic training for the kingdom," or something like that.
Exactly.
Some mercenary guild wants all their members to be schooled in a certain type of fighting.
And that all turns into whether or not you want to provide specialty skills. Like, do you want to be just a general fighter school, or do you want to be a fencing academy, an archery place, a martial arts, enclave or whatever?
Yeah, running a dojo.
Sort of a fighter, sort of a medieval version of Wally Thor's trucker school.
Yeah. Or Debbie Doolittle.
Your master, he is no good.
Well, your sensei.
The fourth one is the mercenary unit. You're going off to war or whatever, or you run into something that your adventuring party perhaps can't handle by themselves. They actually need a bunch of, first level or 0 level, fighters to, fight in rank because there's just so many of the enemy or whatever. And it gives you a system for that. The equipment, the mounts, weapons, plus 1 month's salary. Then the maintenance cost is the animal feed and paying the mercenary unit. Right. And, depending, what happens, through role playing or whatever, there's also an overhead cost of plus.
And all the stuff
there's a reason that mercenary unit is the fallback go-to organization for BattleTech stuff like that. Hey, we're going to play some BattleTech Mech Warrior. Hey, we're going to be a mercenary unit. Yay! It works.
I love playing mercs. But go ahead.
So this will be found in the article, systems, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is Dragon 68. Does it have an author? Who wrote that?
The author is, if you give me a moment to scroll up, Kevin Haw. Yeah, Kevin Haw.
Not familiar with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's written Dragon before, I think.
Yeah, perhaps, but this is a good starting point for a DM who's not out to take every copper the PCs have, and actually wants to do something that is fair, that has risk of, the investment just not giving a really good return, the PC taking a bath, or even the PC, actually making some money off of it.
Yeah.
And,
so Dragon 268. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. You got it.
No, Dragon 268. Check it out if you can find it somewhere out there. Or talk to us at THACOShammer.info, 408
405-806-0555.
That didn't sound right. What?
405-806-0555.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Let's move on to Magic Fingers.
Eeny, meeny, chili beanie, the spirits are about to speak.
Well, it just so happens that your friend here is only mostly dead.
Sounds like a lot of supernatural baloney to me.
Supernatural, perhaps. Baloney, perhaps not.
Magic Fingers.
Magic Fingers, the fingers with the magic. Oh boy, let's go all the way to the 9th level here. Wish.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Wish. That's if you want the full-blown wish. There's a wide variety of them.
Yes, a lot of DMs wish that spell didn't exist.
Oh no, a lot of DMs wish players would wish for silly things because that is so easier to screw them over.
This is the kind of thing. If you get a wing of three wishes, the first thing you wish for is a lawyer.
Exactly.
Fine. You have a pit fiend.
Good job.
They make great lawyers.
Yeah. And who wants to argue with a pit fiend?
Yeah, well, you know that he's going to be fighting for every single. Yeah, but yeah, it's that kind of thing. In case you hadn't figured it out already, even a limited wish is a bit of a problem.
7th level.
Yeah. 7th level spell.
Wish is 9th.
Mm-hmm.
It is 7th.
Yeah, and well, okay, let's get into this a little bit. Now, the thing is, and I read a thread on Dragon's Foot not too long ago where the DM went out of his way to screw the party over, even with a well-worded wish.
Oh,
now,
no, really?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, shocking that it actually happened, right?
There are, of course, the first piece of information you have to know whenever you are dealing with wishes is what is your source. If you are the caster casting your own wish, that's one thing. If you have gotten your wish from any other source out there in the gaming world, it's a very, very touchy subject. If you are getting it from, say, an Ifrit or an item, something that might be aligned, you better watch it. I would rather have a Jijin than an Ifrit. That's one.
Yeah.
I would rather have, wishes granted by a Solar than by a Pit Fiend.
Then again, you always seem to run into that jerk-ass genie.
Yeah. Yeah, well, somebody who's seen, what's that Disney cartoon? Huh? Aladdin?
Or, just
seen Aladdin one too many times? Yeah.
Yeah.
And every genie that comes up is like, chaotic crazy. Like Robin Williams.
He was all right though. I mean,
he was just nuts.
He did not try and Aladdin did not have to word the wish in 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, as some players have had to do. I've seen it.
Yes.
I've
seen him go so far as to write them down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I've done that many a time. I have dealt with that as a DM, and I've dealt with that as a player on both sides of the table. And usually the first hang-up that catches people is the minute they put in "and."
Yeah. Yeah, see,
that's where the wish stops.
Never use that word. Never. When you're using a wish, unless you've got multiple wishes.
In addition to, congruent with,
all that lawyers.
You might be able to pull that one off.
Maybe.
But not some of the others.
But but then again, it's like you said, Blonde, consider the source.
So first you have to worry about the source, then you have to worry about the intent or destination. Is it a selfish wish? Is it a self-serving wish? Is it a for the good of others wish? That may or may not influence how much the DM wants to jack with you over it.
That's true. But you know what? There are jerk-ass DMs out there who don't care about that either.
Mm-hmm.
They will jerk you around.
Yeah.
Hey, let's give him a wish and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, last time
from the deck of many things, that's 2 levels of messed upness.
Perhaps.
I wish for a deck of many things. No, you don't.
No, you. Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's fine. You get a deck of many things, and you find out every card in the deck of many things is the void. How about that?
No. That's just messing with people. But again,
no. That's how I treat selfish wishes. That's a selfish wish. Who wants that? Oh, then again, there are players who are crazy enough.
Then again, who is it? Why is the DM one to impose his morality on another character? Never mind.
Wait a minute. Well, my whole thing is because the last time I had to deal with wishes, I've told this story before, but I'll do it one more time. We ended up getting a luck blade, an intelligent luck blade with the spirit of a leprechaun trapped in it.
Oh.
And the leprechaun is constantly suggesting to one of our players to use the sword, use the witch's sword.
Walk away quickly.
Actually, it worked out. Hey, it saved us from all getting killed by Tarask. And we're all like 5th, 6th level characters. because you know what? The person who had the sword was intelligent. He knew, well, first of all, he knew our DM. That's like, when you have wishes, that's like the first thing you have to have as far as knowledge goes. Know your DM. If you wish for something that is selfless, is he going to screw you over anyway? You need to know this. But
it also might be worth noting whether or not the wish that you have gained, for whatever reason, did it come about as a random gathering of items, or was it intentionally put in the adventure, which you might need it for later?
In the case of my story, it was put in there.
Okay.
You know, but the whole thing was, it was relatively harmless anyway because, you know, leprechauns are leprechauns. It's not like it's the leprechaun from the horror movies, for God's sake. But as far as wishes goes, if you want to stay safe, just if you have a neutral DM or like the DM that we all try to, well, I try to be. I'm not going to speak for you, either of you guys, but is like, the world is dangerous. I'm a neutral party, but I'm rooting for you. It's like you said way back when, Glenn.
What I said. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, here's some things.
Oh, go ahead. First person. Glenn?
In the original printing.
Oh, say that again, Glenn. It didn't come.
Page 197 of the original printing.
Of
the second edition Player's Handbook.
Okay.
According to this, it says it will cause a spell if like a spellcaster is casting a wish, you know, not a genie or a leprechaun or anything like that. It'll cause the spellcaster to weaken, -3 on strength, and require 2d4 days of bed rest due to the stress it places upon time space in his body. And casting is just across the board. Casting a witch ages the caster 5 years.
Yeah. They had to put that in there.
But,
however,
listen to this. This goes along with probably what you were talking about, Brian. What is the wish used for?
Yeah.
If used to alter reality with respect to damage sustained by a party, bring a dead creature back to life, or to escape from a difficult situation by lifting the spellcaster and his party from one place to another, it will not cause the winner any disability.
Right.
That will include he does not age 5 years.
Yep.
So, you know, so they really give you a break for like selfless wishes like that. I wish you'd roll the hell out of here. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Kind of
Yeah. Well,
You sure you want to use that terminology?
Yeah, don't use the word hell. No. But, I mean, another example that I just thought of, we were playing, oh, that's right, we were playing in Forgotten Realms, all about 7th level. One of our characters had, I think, a ring of 3 wishes, and we were up against, two-headed trolls, and they took down a party member. And the player didn't word it quite right when he said that he wishes that we never encountered, or we never, I remember what, no, I take that back. He actually manipulated the DM. He worded the wish so that we got the experience for the fight, then the wish came out, and then we went back and fought the trolls again, a second time.
No.
Yeah, see, but you see, he knew the DM was going to do that, so he did it that way. We ended up getting double experience for it.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, it worked out just fine for us.
I got a wish once. Mm-hmm. It was in that campaign with the character who was over on the other side of Forgotten Realms, so I said wanted to open a trading post.
Yeah, that one.
We had this one place where we would get basically it was a wish it was very specific, so I think it would be a limited wish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They asked for a champion from the group to help fight this one thing, and the power that be said, you may choose. Okay, let me back up a little bit. Earlier on in that dungeon situation, we had lost a party member.
Okay.
A kill. And the DM didn't see. The power that be said, okay, if you're going in, you may choose one other person to help you. And I pointed to the person who lost the party, who got killed. I says, who is going to be your comrade? And I said, her. And the DM looked at me and smiled and said, I wasn't expecting that.
You know what I would do? No.
And she said, well, what she did is okay, the portal opens in the sky and she plops into my arms. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, I thought I was like dead and stuff, and all of a sudden I'm back here.
Magic, baby.
A wizard did it. So what would you do? Her corpse would show up. Okay, fine.
No, the corpse be animated.
Same difference. Only
Again, that also depends on the source of your wish. There are adventures, I might mention one or two, where there is a chance of being bestowed either a wish or a reversed wish.
Ooh.
And they won't tell you it's a reversed wish.
Oh my God.
Until it happens.
Now see, that's pretty bad. When you're dealing with wishes that actually happen in reverse from what you wish for, that's just horrible. That's straight out terrible. But it was a selfless thing. I get it, Glenn. I'm just giving you a little bit of business.
You get a little bit of heat. That's okay. Yeah, but no, I did that because I felt kind of bad that she lost her character, and it's not like she didn't have the skills I wanted, that I needed along that trip, and so we ended up having the whole party there, and we won and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I can see it made me think from the DM's perspective how I can see, well, the players can screw you up too.
Oh yeah, well the players can screw themselves, and I've seen that quite a few times where you have to. It's like I said. It's like Full-On said, and what I said. Consider the source of the wish, and consider who the DM is and how he runs things, and if you take those both into account and you word it in a way that the DM can't find some sort of loophole to screw the players over, then it's fine. But if you screw up the wording, then it's on your head.
Yeah.
It's just you have to be careful with it.
I got some. I'm both when I'm way back when I had a roommate. We both were running in a second edition, we were DMing, kind of taking turns in this one world, and we both had enough bad experiences with DMs and wishes we made a blanket rule. Anybody who has a wish, whatever they wish for, the wish knows what you mean, and will give it to you to the best of its ability.
Correct. Yeah, that's a fair
That's
compact.
the way we left it.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to sit there and give us an essay on what this is and isn't.
Hey, I had a guy very clearly asking a Freet for an evil robe of the Archmagi, and he went and got one for him.
And then the Archmagi.
5 rounds later, Mordenkainen shows up, wet from the shower, very pissed off, and I let them deal with it. Because the Ifrit came back, threw the robe at him, and dived in his bottle.
Yep, because I'm not dealing with that. He will either kill me or enslave me. I don't want that.
Yeah.
And Mordenkainen shows up. Ooh. But yes.
Fun times.
Yeah, wishes.
Wishes they're fun. Tell us all about it. Thacoshammer@gmail.com. And now we move on to Loaded for Bear.
Bet you don't have a pair of these, Earthling.
And for the big critters, sometimes you got to bring out the nuclear weaponry.
Loaded for Bear.
Loaded for Bear. Now this is right up Full-On's alley. Fencing weapons.
Sweetie pork.
Pig stickers and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've got rapé, sabers or scimitars, all that good stuff. I'm looking at the Arms and Equipment Guide right now.
Mm-hmm.
Page 102 has the pokey weapons.
Yep, and I've got...
the parrying dagger, the stiletto.
Yes, cutlass even.
And the sitar.
Cutlass even.
Yep.
For all your buckling your swash needs.
Yep, all in one nice little weapon group. You've got the 2 swords, the rapier and the saber. The saber, everybody, thinks of, the slightly curved sword with either the solid metal or the basket hilt, and, where you can actually use that hilt to punch people with. The rapier, of course, is is the bladed sword, even though it's more for thrusting than it is for slashing.
Right.
Then you've got the Ningosh, which is your parrying dagger. And, the good thing about these is that with the advent of, combat and tactics, I don't know if they did it in the Arms Equipment Guide or not, but they gave the Ningosh a nice little bonus as to if you're trying to block incoming attacks with it, you get a +2 bonus.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, I'm going to hand this off to Full-On. You got your combat and tactics book handy there?
Yeah, I've got it open right now.
All right. But tell us all about the pig stickers in there.
Okay. So,
because this is basically description.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the rapier is come on. You have to edit this a little bit because I'm trying to get to where it is. There it is. It's a piercing weapon. Speed factor 4. Damage is 1 to 6, 1 to 8. It's like a short sword, but it's just it's more stylistic a choice. It's a little bit slower, but it's for the fencing type, the one who wants to fence rather than just hack at something with a sword. The saber, speed factor 5, damage is 1 to 6 plus 1, 1 to 8 plus 1.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And like I said, it's got the hilt that you can use for punching attacks rather than just using the blade all the time. Let's see. Let me roll up to the daggers where
I got that. If you've got that open, if you're going into the daggers, they talk about the variants of it, which is the Mangosh, the parrying dagger, and the stiletto.
Yep.
Stiletto, yes.
You get your +2 bonus to block with the weapon. In addition, the parrying dagger has an ability to break an enemy's weapon if used in a defensive disarm maneuver.
Yes.
So it can do a crushing blow versus rapiers, or a normal blow versus any other kind of sword.
Right.
And then you've got stiletto, gives you a +2 bonus against armored opponents. It's about punching through armor.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. At the very least, punching through or finding the weak points in the armor and just sticking something really sharp and pointy in them.
To me, these kind of weapons are not, unless that's your character's shtick, These, to me, are like backup weapons.
Yeah, the daggers and so forth.
I'm talking about like the RPAs and things like that. Like I said, unless it's your character's like.
It's not the thing that the dude who's going for the +4, +6 strength bonus is going to be swinging.
I've not seen the Conan types.
That would be funny to watch, but yeah.
You're going to. I'm going to make sure of it.
It's like it's like handing the Hulk one of these things. That'd be funny.
Exactly. Exactly. But I mean, yeah. In the case of Full-On's character in my AP podcast, which we're working on, but we're going to get it there. We had a little bit of an incident with Glen's main computer, so hang in there. But as far as these weapons go, yeah, the more brawny fighters, unless they're going just for the laugh factor, they're not going to take these. But I mean, I have Mage Thief multi-class characters who use them.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Saber is a D6+1, D8+1.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slashing weapon, so you don't have to worry. You only get your normal half damage from dealing with, your skeletons and stuff, unlike your rapier, which is straight piercing, which will do you no good.
Right. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, that's her fighting style, basically. When she's not casting spells to frustrate, damage, or otherwise incapacitate the enemy, she's got those two weapons out. And, she uses that main ghost to block incoming attacks in case, something nasty with a sword comes at her, but this is how she does things. Right. And, I mean, thieves can use them. I mean, couple of thief with a pair of main gauches. I mean, it's not just for swashbucklers anymore.
Right. Unless you want to take two-weapon fighting with like I said, a rapier or something.
Mm-hmm.
A fencing sword.
It has its uses, and again, even then,
it slices and dices.
It also is easier to get away with explaining why you're carrying it around town, unlike the two-handed sword or the double-headed battle axe.
Yeah.
It is kind of unobtrusive in the bar.
And it's one of those, and it's a great weapon because you can disguise it as a cane.
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
You could. Certainly. Yes. Certainly. I mean, the rapier has all kinds of uses like that. And it's just one, and also it can be a backup. It could be that backup weapon. You're not going to take an old man's walking stick, are you? Yeah. Yes. Bar fight breaks out. Shing. Okay.
Bad bar fight breaks out. You don't start the bar fight like that.
Well, that's true. No, you make sure you finish it. Yeah, you finish it.
It's a bar fight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, nothing. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, this is one of those things that when like Combat and Tactics came out, even before then, when it was just in articles in Dragon Magazine and maybe in the Arms and Equipment Guide, that these smaller weapons that didn't do as much damage as the tried and true longsword, they had a secondary purpose or a secondary ability that can actually help a player, So, I mean, in my game, as you know, I use all kinds of crazy little systems when it comes to fighting, and it's up to the players to actually utilize them. But, one player who has, a rapier and main gauche and decides to just basically fight defensively and hold his attack and just basically just defend, defend against somebody, and these weapons are perfect for this kind of thing.
I pull out the sword and I go, full defense. I'm doing to do tumbling and full defense. My armor class just went up by 8.
Yeah.
You can't touch me.
Yep. You can't do much else either.
Yeah, I can't do much anything else, but if I can piss you off to no end, I can keep you busy swinging at me while everybody else does something useful.
Exactly. See, those are the kind of tactics that I applaud as a DM. Not just walk up to something and just bash it in the head until it dies. Every now and then just to pull out something, just to do something clever, sure, go for it. If you succeed, mazel tov, huzzah to you, I raise my glass. But if you fail, then you've got problems, son.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah?
So wait a minute, you did take tumbling, didn't you, Full On?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, I just stick my leg out and he'll take it.
Yeah, doing all kinds of cartwheels and backflips and forward rolls and shoulder rolls, yeah.
And the guy comes right in with a punch. Boom!
Yeah.
But as you can see, I have studied my aesthetic.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay, fencing weapons. You can tell us all about it. THACOShammer.info. A lot of stuff out there. Yeah, what?
Are you going to ask for the roll call?
We already did that.
I think we did. Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I was just making sure you weren't asking for that. That's all.
Oh, I'm asking for it, all right. But not that.
No,
Let's go on to our snipe hunt.
If you only had a living brain.
What do you think? Escaped gorilla?
Listen, you're making enough noise to wake up the dead. I don't have to wake him up. He's up.
It's time for a snipe hunt.
Snipe hunt, Gold Dragon.
Yep.
Of all the chromatic dragons, this is the goldest of the gold.
Mm-hmm. Well,
how much is, as I said on the other show, how much is a gold dragon worth in gold pieces?
If you can get all the scales off. And
Depends. Is he your moneylender?
Oh, yeah. And then,
if you specific information, sadly I'm away from my books, but if you go into your Hackmaster 4th edition Monsters Compendium on the dragon entry specifically and the gold dragon in explicit specific, you can get a full breakdown on what every damn thing on that thing is worth if you part it out.
Wow. Yeah.
That's part of every monster's entry, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. And this one is lawful good.
Yes.
So it could be a source of information too.
Yeah, a source of information, benefactor, the guy you're working for. You know, I mean, he could actually hire you to protect his horde. You know, against say, rampaging red dragon. I mean, the gold dragon is one of the more powerful dragons in the D&D universe.
Oh, yeah.
Golds and reds are right at the top of the list.
Speaking of breaking it down, second edition Monstrous Manual for this edition of D&D really goes the extra mile in breaking down how big and how much XP.
Exactly.
And treasure type.
Yep. Yeah. The treasure types are quite
by age.
Yeah, by age. Yep. I'm actually entering into my ever so popular monster stat block file. I'm actually going into doing the dragons now. And I'm actually writing down all of the information and all of the special abilities they can use and all of the spells they can have. And yeah, second edition dragons, as we've always said, got a major power boost from first edition.
For one thing, there's not a typo here. Look at the age 11 and age 12 dragon for gold dragon. What's his armor class?
-11 and -12 respectively.
Oh, yes.
And look at all them spells that it can cast.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Up to 6th level wizard spells and 4th level clerical spells, yes.
And up to 70% magic resistance.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, when I was entering all this information, I'm only up to blue dragons right now, and I'm at venerable, which I think is category 10. And I'm like, why would any self-respecting adventuring party under 10th level even try to take on a blue dragon? Or, any dragon of this age or worse?
That's right.
Because...
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. I mean...
And that's not even taking into account say you want to do a specific setting dragon, like the general rule of thumb when dealing with Forgotten Realms dragons is everything that you see there double.
which I can't even imagine. There's to me, their dragons would rule the world if they were double powered.
But then again,
that's why there's not a lot of them in the Forgotten Realms, and why when they show up, it's kind of important.
Yeah. Then again, gold dragons are one of those creatures who have great power but don't use it because they know they have great power but they don't need to use it.
Yeah, they're very responsible with how they use their power.
Right, they said they are wise, ludicrous, and benevolent. Wait a minute.
Judicious.
Wise, judicious.
Ludicrous. Really, Glenn? Wow.
Wise, ludicrous.
I mean, they put themselves on self-appointed quest to promote goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, again, that's also generally on the goodness scale. They're talking about A, goodness for dragons in general, B, goodness for the planet in general. That doesn't necessarily include goodness for the well-being of adventurers.
No.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to do the dirty work.
Hey, like they're saying, beware of the meddling in the affairs of dragons, for you're crunchy and good with ketchup.
Yep, exactly.
Sometimes you don't have choice, though.
This is true too.
Now, special abilities. Let's see. Do they have the ability to shapeshift?
Yes. Yeah, that's part of how they gauge how good people. Yeah, exactly. How good or evil people are. They'll walk around in a human form or a demi-human form and just wander around and see how they're treated.
Right.
And
they also crossed the difference here because originally gold dragons were kind of, in older editions, they were listed as being the serpentine oriental style dragon. And since the advent of things like Kryn, they came out with the winged dragons. So they split the difference in saying that his natural form has wings. However, they sometimes choose a wingless form to facilitate swimming.
Gotcha.
So they get the higher swimming rate listed above when they're in their serpentine form as opposed to their Krynish winged form.
Well, they never said serpentine dragons couldn't fly.
No,
they can always fly.
Oh, yeah, they can fly. You know, I mean, I hate to do it, and I'm going to do it, but for those who don't know exactly what gold dragons look like, and there are enough pictures of them, and they're anime fans, just think about Shenron in Dragon Ball Z. That's exactly what he looks like, except gold dragons are gold and yellow and orange and all kinds of different colors mixed in.
I remember a 1E game that I played one time that we were being followed around by a gold dragon polymorphed as a cat.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Just because they're curious too.
Yeah, they're curious. Yeah.
Cat nothing. What about the 7 songbirds that are carried around by Bahamut in his old man form?
Yep. All of them, Great Worm, gold dragons. All of them. You know, the most powerful form.
Wow. Well, I figured it out when I went down to pet him. He says, "What are you doing?" "Oh, he's scratching on his head. You feel something underneath his fur." "What?" "Kind of scaly thin." "Oh, okay. I'm going to be real nice to this cat."
Yeah, but that's what they do. Gold and actually silver dragons do the same thing. The difference is gold dragons can kind of keep themselves separated away from humanity and things like that. Silver dragons have like this reputation of falling in love with humans and demi-humans. Silvara, things like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to the gold dragon, not only do they have their breath weapons, which are fire and chlorine gas, which is bad enough.
Well, that's when I bring my dirty laundry.
Yeah. No,
you believe just breathe on it.
It would just eat holes in the cloth. It's that powerful. But
dude, I told you not with the starch. Come on.
Yeah, gold dragon. Yeah. Okay.
I get the Goldie's laundromat. Goldie's.
And don't forget here's just something to keep in mind about the mindset of dragons when dealing with them.
What's that?
When the gold dragon chooses to parlay before combat and he's conversing with intelligent creatures, they're going to use detect lie and detect gems.
Yeah, because they like gems a lot.
So they're going to be into a little bit of both. It's not just what can I do for you lately, sir.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, do you have gems? I'll trade you for them. That's what they'll do. Yep. That's the draconic part of their nature, is that all dragons, whether from a white dragon hatchling all the way to a great worm gold dragon, they all have a fascination with wealth.
Let's get down to abilities here. They've got the breath weapon. They do have special spell-like abilities, one of which is polymorphing.
Yes.
As they get older, what else do they have?
They start out water breathing and speak with animals and polymorph self. As they age, the gold dragon gains a few things. They get bless when they're young. They get detect lie when they're juvenile. They get animal summoning when they're adult, animal summoning again when they're mature adults, and then they get luck bonus.
Ooh.
And then, to top it off, they can do quests and detect gems.
That's the best one. Yeah. If you're working for an old gold dragon and you start balking at the terms of your agreement, don't be surprised you get a quest spell put on you.
Or a Geas.
Yeah.
No, those have to be voluntary. You can't just put them on someone. But again, voluntary takes on a kind of loose term when dealing with dragons.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And looking at the spell levels here, it's like starting at age 4, fourth age dragons. Man, it goes up fast.
Yeah. And
they are major spellcasters near the end.
Yeah, they're the most powerful spellcasters in the Monstrous Manual anyway. There are some that are a little bit more powerful, but
I think I'll be using that one in my now.
Hey, that's
I'll use it in my cattle drive scenario.
That's just raw draconic ability. That's not even going into let's be a little apocalyptic and apocryphic here and say let's give him some spellcaster levels.
Yeah. In the Draconomicon,
like
you can do
A
that.
20th level dragon cleric.
Yep. I can see it.
Priest of Mystra.
I'd say Bahamut.
Yep.
Bahamut.
Yep.
Difference.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
But I mean, the best scenario I have with gold dragons is, of course, Castle Amber. Because in one part of the adventure, when you're wandering around the garden, you see this beautiful woman with amber skin and golden hair with a unicorn, and they're laying there sleeping, and she's sleeping over a chest. Now,
do you take the chest? Yes.
You try to take the chest.
Exactly.
And one party I ran through that adventure. They actually talked to her. And, she was really nice, really kind, actually healed a couple of characters who were hurt, and then they offered for her to, accompany them, and she said, no, I have to stay here. And, they went on, and then I think at one point they had to go back into the garden for some reason. I don't know why. But, what ended up happening is that, the dragon revealed herself to one of the characters, and that character's just standing there, just like just like standing there, jaw open, eyes as big as saucers, because they didn't know, even though there were enough hints, I thought, but they didn't get them. But yeah, I mean, with gold dragons, like I said, they can be a myriad of roles for the party. And basically, you could have, if the party needs information, go out and get gems. Why? Because you can trade the gems for knowledge. Because the dragon will see those gems and be like, "Ooh, shiny. Okay, what do you want to know? I'll trade you this knowledge for those gems." And there you go.
There you go. Not bad. Gold dragons, we love them. How about you? Thacoshammer@gmail.com. Now on to the DM's rag.
Sir.
Well, that's quite a story.
I think it would be fun to run a newspaper.
And here it comes, right over the old plate.
The DM's rag. Hey, DM's rag, we're going to rag about Night Below's Book 1, The Evils of Haranshire, the first in a series of Night Below reviews.
Yes.
Go through the whole damn box set.
Woo!
Yeah, full on, very happy. Yep.
All right, so Night Below. It is your second edition box set super adventure that's purported to take you from level 1 to level 20 in second edition, and it's not setting specific, so you can put it in any gameplay you want. If you want to put it in the realms, go for the realms. If you want Greyhawk, Greyhawk. If you want to Mystara, twist it into a Oriental campaign, anything you want, or your homebrew, good to go. Probably a bad fit for Dark Sun, but neither here nor there.
Yeah,
let's put in Spelljammer, yeah.
You know what?
I'm working on a Star Wars conversion.
Really?
Sure.
Wow. Okay. Let's continue.
So, first book is basically your first to 6 5th or 6th level. 7th might be a little high if you do all of the side quests and every little thing that is in the adventure.
Yep.
But it's going to be the thing that sets you on the path into going into the deeper portions of the Underdark.
Right.
You have a lot of wilderness adventures. You have some real good role-play sources up on top and underneath. You've got some all spectrum of adventures that you can deal with, from nobility to wilderness and rangers to the people of the towns and other odds and ends.
And I'm glad they put that stuff in there too. I remember being in a Night Below campaign, and this is one where it says it goes from first level to take it from first to 20th level. I would not personally, if I was a DM, I would not start them at first level.
Okay.
Because I know the book handles this and stuff like that, but we did a hell of a lot of running around on the surface before we even had enough levels to go down there.
Right.
Well, yeah. It happens. I've run it a couple times, and parties have gone in early, parties have gone in late, and had different results.
Right.
I've had the 7th level party get into book 2 and self-immolate themselves because they utterly failed to plan for trolls, whereas the 5th level party went in with appropriate caution and control.
Yeah, just didn't go running straight down there. They actually proceeded with a level of caution.
Yes. And there's all kinds of things you can do to expand and branch off of the elements that are in there. Not only do they give you some well-detailed side adventures in all manner of things to deal with good role-play situations for and against the party, for and against the monsters or other creatures they encounter, so you don't get to kill everything unless you really, really want to. There are things that you're not supposed to kill.
Right.
But you also have good nuggets and little leads that are just given there as the nugget for some kind of DM-developed extra things if you need it, and it all depends kind of on your play style, how you give out XP, and what you give XP for.
All right.
I've put together a number of little supplements and add-on pieces that I'll end up posting on one of the forums in the library for, parties that took the time to do surveillance of certain locations.
You just gave us some.
Yes, I know. I'm going to post them onto the
encounter cards.
Encounter cards. I've run this in a variety of systems. I've run it in straight 2E. I've run it in 3E. I've run it in a 3E variant with vitality and wound points. It works out well in all flavors.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I like the fact that this adventure is at least this
on a
this
box
book.
set, but if you're not a 2E player, curses, but if you're a 3E player or a Pathfinder player and you want to stick this into your adventure, they have D20 conversion supplements out there that are fan-made and available on the Wizard site where you can get the RTFs of what conversions are done to make it into a D20 game.
Right.
No problems.
Now, have you ever... Here's a question I want to ask. Now, when you talk about had parties go in at first level, parties in at 5th level, so I'm assuming you're the DM. Okay?
Yes.
Have you ever been in it as a player?
No, I have not been in this as a player.
How about you?
I've had this box set for, I want to say, at least 10 years, probably longer, and I've never had an opportunity to run it. Up until recently, when I actually started reading it, I just didn't think it was all that feasible. Because before I just skimmed over it. I didn't actually sit down and read it. But this is actually a tried and true method that they actually kind of started. I won't say they started it, but the most popular example of an adventure like this is Temple of Elemental Evil, where the party can go in at first level. They don't even have to even mess around with the temple yet. They can just screw around in Hamlet and, get a couple of levels and, fight a few things and role play a few more things and do mission work.
So.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because it was made for that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And see, the whole thing is that module was groundbreaking because that was like the first of its kind, being number one that big or should I say by TSR? Let me put that disclaimer in there. You know, the module being that big and having that much information in it, because I remember back in the day they were supposed to go T1, T2, T3, T4, and they didn't. Yeah, they got as far as the village of Hamlet and they stopped. Then they just said, okay, fine, we're just going to put this whole thing out. And, you know, then this is like that same system but brought into 2E and tweaked a little bit. You know, where you can't, like Full On said, you can have a mid-level party go in, start at book 2 instead of book 1, or a first-level party can go from beginning to end if they're lucky, because God only knows book 3 is pretty damn hard.
But again, talking about book 1, book 1 is the meat that gives you your nugget of story. It starts off with, of course, your little red herrings and aside those that don't get you too invested in what's going on, but you do get, later on, you get a good investment in what's going to happen in your future and what the source of the problems are. You start learning the mystery. It's the other big thing about this, is you learn you have the first inroads into a greater mystery that you have to resolve, that you end up dealing with and resolving by the time you get into the upper levels. Right. So the first book is your first clues and your first emotional investment for your characters into what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask, you said you never played it as a player.
Right.
Hold on.
Right. Yeah, that is what he said.
Well, he said he had a butt there. I never let him finish.
Oh, okay. What?
No, I had no butt.
Oh,
okay. Well, that's weird, but okay. First book of Night Below. How many pages? And who's responsible for this monstrosity of dungeon goodness?
Well, this was designed by Carl Sargent. It has all kinds of contributors between the interior art, the additional art, the graphic design, the cartography. Oh, yeah. There's massive amounts of maps and all kinds of supplements that you can work with this. And but speaking of which, it is under the TSR label, product number 1125.
Yep.
Right.
If people are hunting for it, and back in the day, it was retailing for, I believe, $30.
Yeah. This is when they started cranking out adventures that were, I hate to say it because I know it sounds,
The investment in that at $30 is killer.
Yeah, I
agree. If you get your hands on it at retail price or less, take it.
Yeah.
Just mine it and rape it for materials, if nothing else, but you can use it for so much.
This is why go ahead.
The other big thing about this is it's your big super Underdark campaign, but we know the Underdark campaign has been done before to death. Problem is, all the Underdark campaigns that have been done before to death have all been done with drow. They promise you, and they hold true to this promise, there are no drow.
There are some
you encounter just about everything else out there worse than drow.
I was going to say.
And everything else that you can find in the Underdark besides drow.
The majority of Underdark campaigns, you are dealing almost exclusively with drow. You know, maybe you'll run into a hook horror wandering around the Underdark. This adventure goes completely away from that, which I admire greatly.
Right.
You find hook horrors. You find tribes of Quaggoths. You find packs and tribes of trolls.
Yes.
There's a completely different tactic involved in, hey, we're being harassed by a troll or two, versus there is a tribe of trolls, and they tell you this in advance. If you make friends with the right people, you're going to go deal with a tribe of trolls later.
You're going to die. Yeah.
No, you're going to, you can die, and many people have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like that one room in G3 where it's got 56 trolls in it. Yeah. You know, I mean, the whole thing is that this is an adventure that will say to the DM that is so stuck on drow, it's like, hey, stupid, there's more down here than just drow.
And there's other things down there, too. There's things that you don't necessarily have to fight that may aid you. And that's before you start getting into making deals and, choosing the lesser of any particular evil. Because there are some really, really bad evils down there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it gets really, really hairy once you get into book 3, like we said. But we're going to cover that, in the near future. But I mean, just a quick overview. I mean, one of the things that starts this off is that the party gets ambushed by a bunch of rogues, and they find out a little information, and they can act on that information, and they'll find they'll be journeying to a town, they'll find out some more stuff. I mean, I like the fact that it's like, how I knew this was going to be actually a really good adventure.
How did you know?
Because they ran an ambush. They ran an ambush being waylaid by brigands on the road. They actually did it really smartly. Rather than just having them jump out of trees, they have a couple pretend to be, just people who are just trying to get from point A to point B. Right. And they're like, well, you guys have all the big, all the weapons. We'll stay behind you. Then all of a sudden, the other guys come out and they're like, look, brigands, let's get them. And they run up and they look like they're going to, attack the brigands, but then they attack the party.
Right.
It's a nice little double cross.
Yeah, so everybody was pointing a sword except me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Then there's 3 good villages or towns to deal with that have some very interesting NPCs that any DM worth their salt can expand upon and make all kinds of interesting. Mm-hmm. You have a keep, who is the basic lord of the particular region, and they may be able to provide you some aid or services if you can deal with them well. Otherwise, that could be a thorn in your butt until you end up hiding underground. Goes either way. Yeah. You have swamps, you have hills, you have woods, you have wild woods, you have tame woods, you have hero-worshipping hangers-on, if you ever get that far.
That tends to be an interesting little role-playing.
And they have a generally good supply of appropriate NPCs if you want to deal with the training process for leveling up, or if you just want to have the leveling up go on your own. That's something else to consider. This is generally, wherever you put this in your kingdoms, it's somewhat out in BFE. It has no real neighbors. And it should be that way so that they are dependent on the heroes to solve the problems.
Right.
I set mine in the Forgotten Realms, and of course you have all the superheroes of the Forgotten Realms, but they're nowhere near here, and they're busy dealing with other more important things.
Right. Ironshire is a great place to deal with. I mean, aside from Night Below, after Night Below. Ironshire is a nice little town to have hang around on the order of like Hamlet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I almost would say this is like the Temple of Elemental Evil for the new generation, so to speak.
Hey, it's more than just Hamlet. For the price of this book, you get 3 towns. You get Thurmaster, you get Milbourne, and you get Harleton, and you get Palfrey's Keep.
Yep.
And you put them all together, and it's like, okay, fine, let's get the heck out of here. Which way do we go? About 40 miles that way is a keep near the borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
If you really wanted to, yeah.
Exactly.
You can always tie these into other adventures and other modules if you don't want to write your own filler. I wrote my own filler for this and stuck it in the Half-Cut Hills, and it's variable level thing that can run from 1st to 12th level play in it if people needed something to still do in the region. Mm-hmm. And where I put it in the Forgotten Realms is kind of to the southern area of the main map of the realms, so that if you plot it out map-wise, I put Heronshire kind of halfway between Hardcastle and Torch, kind of southwest of the Inland Sea, right?
Okay.
Wow.
And that puts the Sunless Sea almost directly under the Great Rift. So it works out with the map of the Underdark as it's understood for the Forgotten Realms. Right. You can stick it elsewhere in your Greyhawk campaign or in your Mystara campaign or whatever.
I want to stick it into Thunder Rift.
You could.
Why not?
You know what you do? You just substitute the town names in here for the town names in Thunder Rift, and you've got it.
Or just put them in there with those other 4, because there's that hole in Thunder Rift that leads to the Hollow World.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to deal with the Hollow World, so guess what?
Sunless Sea.
Just keep on heading down that Underdark highway. Other things that are useful to deal with this set, okay, you can always run this just straight up out of your Monster Manual, Player's Handbook, and Dungeon Master's Guide. But having your Wilderness Adventure Guide and your Dungeoneer's Survival Guide adds all kinds of flavors to this, which I have done so. I have plotted out not only the Underdark, the upper underground passages, but I went through and tweaked them all with the application of the tunnel types from the Dungeoneer Survival Guide to give them slope, to give them depth, to give them consistency of ecology.
When you move to Lawton, I'm going to have to go visit you just to see these books with the notes and stuff. You know, I just want to see them and see what you did. You know.
Oh yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yep.
Anyway, book one, DM's Reg Book 1 Night Below, Evils of Harenshire. We will be getting to the second book in the next show, and the third
Word of
book.
caution. For your DMs, you do not want to run your party through every single thing in Book 1 before you let them get to Book 2. If you do, they will probably be near 10th level before they even get into Book 2.
Yeah, they'll
get a whole lot done.
Yeah, they'll run through Book 2. They won't have as much challenge. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, pace them.
Yeah.
Gotta pace
give you enough so that whatever direction they choose to kind of hair off into and is the interest of your party, you can develop into good adventures and get them the XP they need to survive delving deeper.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Full-On. Join us next week for a new podcast, Night Below, with Full-On Gamer.
Yeah, just how terrible that is. Yeah.
Yes, I think you could do a whole series of podcasts on that one.
Ancient Gamer was talking about posting full reviews of the entire box set, and I told him, hey, we're beating you to it.
Oh, gosh. I bet he loved that.
Yeah, he did.
Anyway, I think we're going to have to close the Splat book.
Okay.
It's about that time.
If we have to.
Yeah, we have to. We gave him enough food for thought, I think, this time. More than enough food for thought.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, say goodnight, Brian. Or goodbye.
Until next time, folks, keep the dice on the table, in plain sight of the DM, and don't bring loaded dice, because things will go badly for you.
Full on.
Make sure you poke them with the sharp end. Oh, wait.
Dice? Or the Repier, yeah.
Well, I've stepped on D4s before. It's not fun.
That's why we used to call them caltrops.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, you got the caltrops? Okay. And I'm DM Glenn saying, yeah, we'll see you around again when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye, caltrops. Oh, yeah. Thanks for reminding me. Finding your dice at like 3 a.m. in the morning.
that must have been
my dice bag.
Yeah, it must have been some game. Yeah, exactly. Dog got into the dice bag again. Darn it.
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at Thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at Thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.